There. All right. Welcome, everybody. Love you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Love you too.
Welcome
Thank you, Tony.
to the Sunday night Prosperity Abundance Workshop. We're going to be using several tools, which, if used on a regular basis, will help you manifest happiness, success, prosperity, and abundance. It's hard work. It's not magic, but it's all about frequency, repetition, specificity. And everybody who has followed these simple directions has manifested success. Uh, Basically, these are tools that are, if you've ever attended any law of attraction workshop or prosperity workshop, okay, uh, they're all, they're used at all these workshops. There's nothing new under the sun. And as I said, please everybody turn on your camera because otherwise I don't have a connection with you. So anyway, the first and most important tool, of course, is getting yourself a little notebook. I'm just reviewing the various tools that we've discussed. Each week we've discussed a specific tool. I will be publishing a workbook which will follow this workshop, okay? But I'll just run through the basic tools for everybody because we got a couple of, I think, Regina, you're new. This is the first time on, Regina?
Yes.
Awesome. I think Melina, I think you're new. Is that correct? I think Lori was on last week, an LM, Lynn, I think. Okay, so the first tool is having a notebook or a daily journal. It's that this way you'll be able to benchmark your success. As you start the process, you can also, you'll need the workbook to write down your various goals, visions, and lists that we will be discussing. We discuss the various lists at each week. We have a new tool and a new list, and these are various actions that we take on a daily basis in order to manifest success. So the workbook, a $3, $2 spiral notebook is absolutely fine. A student spiral notebook with sections is absolutely perfect for the job. I do know some people who, one woman I know, and it's fine by me. It's whatever you can afford. She had a beautiful handmade leather, with flowery paper, embedded flowers. It was a beautiful. I think must have cost at least a couple of $100. If that helps you manifest prosperity and abundance, go for it. Okay, but frankly, you don't need it. Okay, but definitely get yourself a notebook. Also, we have various exercises, and we use a tool called a practice called EFT, Emotional Freedom Techniques, which is it's often called the tapping or meridian tapping or chakra tapping. After each workshop, as a follow-up, I send you an email with links to YouTubes. So everything that we cover in the workshop is covered by either recording of this session or recordings of different EFT tapping. So everything, there's a reference and you can go back and, practice it yourself or, it'll act as a kind of a study guide or a memory reinforcer. Okay. Now, as I said, we do have a variety of different exercises. The first week we discussed making a gratitude list. Okay, it's amazing how time flies. We discussed making a gratitude list. So in your notebook, in your workbook, you want to start making a list of people and things and aspects of your life that make you feel grateful, happy, and positive. Okay, this would be often in selling workshops, salesmanship workshops. They talk about your why. Well, this is actually your why, the things in your life that you feel good, positive, successful. Okay. The next tool we discussed, which was the next week, we talked about limiting thoughts, limiting attitudes, self-limiting, self-sabotaging beliefs and attitudes. So you'll be making a list of that. Okay. This week, we're going to talk about what we call the Monster Hall of Fame. Okay. Now, the Monster Hall of Fame is a list of negative experiences that you have had around business and money. Okay. Uh, Anything that you could call a financial trauma, if you've ever been lied to around money in business, or were cheated, or somebody stole from you, or there was some kind of negative experience around work or career or money or abundance. Okay, that when you think about it, okay, you have it still kind of sends a shiver down your spine, or still makes you feel sad, mad, or angry, or depressed, or shamed, or whatever. It gives you a negative feeling. Okay. Because we're going to start neutralizing negative energy that blocks us towards abundance and success. So that list we often call, like a friend of mine, a woman called Julia Cameron, who wrote the book The Artist's Way, which is an old book. It's been around for 25 years. I strongly recommend it if you ever like reading this kind of literature. It's called The Artist's Way. And she used to call it the Monster Hall of Fame, okay, where your monsters are, okay? And we're going to neutralize all your monsters. I'm going to show you the various tools how to neutralize your monsters. Anyway, I just wanted to review since we have so many new people on tonight, which is fine. Uh, I'd like to, why don't we just everybody briefly check in and say hi. We're going to go for a little gratitude tap. So anybody wants to check in with a positive experience, or something that happened over the last week, or a person or an event or something that made you feel positive or grateful. Who'd like to check in and say hi and share something?
I'll start. Okay, go ahead,
Okay,
Regina.
okay. Well, Regina, then Claudette. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, so this year I've decided to transition from my job to a business by the end of the year.
Okay.
And it's something I've been doing part-time for a long time. It's just been afraid to cut the cord from the job.
Okay.
And so I'd made the decision the end of last year, and it's been like all of a sudden, I've had all of different mentors from different states coming into my life to mentor me to get to that point. So I'm just like, it's just unbelievable that just making that decision has kind of brought a lot of resources into my life. So I'm excited about that.
Well, that's
Very
awesome.
grateful.
Well,
Yeah.
trust me, there'll be some tools here that we'll be sharing with you that'll help you accelerate that process.
Oh, awesome.
And again, I hope this will definitely help you, and I endorse you. Go ahead, Claudette. Something you're grateful for, feel positive about today, or happened over the last week?
Sure. Hi, guys. My name is Claudette. And I am grateful. By the way, Regina, congratulations. I made that decision in February of last year and left my full-time job and walked into a business that I had started. So congratulations. The world is about to change for you. So in October, I kind of work out on and off all the time. Like I've been in great shape parts of my life and not so great shape in other parts of my life. And so I was kind of thinking I was in great shape, and I started to show off how to do an Asian squat. And I did the first one, and then I went to do the second one, and I couldn't get up. And I had to have a friend of mine help me to my feet because I literally couldn't get up. I was stuck. I came home and I went, all right, Claudette, face it. You either start getting into shape or one day you're going to fall down and can't get up and you'll be so embarrassed you'll just lie there and die. So do something about this. You actually know how. So I recognized how much of a task person I am. So I started a 21-day challenge, but I have to do it 21 times, which means nonstop working out for 441 days. Today, I started the first day of my 7th cycle. I have worked out 126 days straight.
Wow.
And I am so grateful for that. It's like, and, you know, I made it a point of not weighing myself because it wasn't about my weight. It's about my health and my fitness. And it has been great. And I'm so grateful that I made this decision. And I'm equally very grateful that I stuck to my guns. And that is just revealed in so many other things. Like, you gotta just stick to your guns and keep going. Even when you don't think there's any changes coming, the change is coming. That's it.
Awesome. That's amazing. Good for you. Congratulations. Anybody else want to check in? Again, this could be a person or aspect of your life or a recent event, anything that makes you feel positive or good. Anybody else want to check in? Okay, go ahead, please,
Melina.
Melina, sorry.
It's okay. So I spent about a year after getting my master's degree just kind of self-sabotaging. And I went last week after studying for a week and I took my test and I'm an associate licensed clinical mental health counselor, blah, 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 and all of the new acronym. It used to be licensed professional counselor, but now it's a new acronym. So when they finish all of their checklist stuff, then I'll have finished my educational plan and to becoming a counselor, the first step as to becoming licensed. And then the most exciting part of all of that was after I took my test, I got to go spend time with my grandbaby. And if anybody who's got grandkids knows, that is part of my why, because I don't know, you just something about the way that she looks at me and the way that she talks, and it just lights a whole new fire. So those are things that I'm grateful for.
Awesome. Great. Anybody else want to check in with something positive? Are they aspect of the life or a person or aspect or recent event? Julie, how you doing?
I'm fine. Thank you so very much. Yeah, I'll go next. Doing the on the lines of the prosperity and gratitude. There was I signed up to do some of those surveys, and it was sort of like a job that you know, if you are accepted in this focus group, as they call it, you know, they pay you for whatever X amount of time. So I applied for it. So now I'm waiting to see if I'm accepted. So that's, you know, it's just a little extra income that's coming in, you know, prosperity wise. So I'm hoping that that it continues for whatever next endeavor that I can get. So that's something very positive.
Awesome. Well, that's very good. I'll just share that I had a great session with one of my coaches. I too, you know, the old expression, he or she who coaches themselves has a fool for a client. I don't know if you've ever heard that one, but so I have several coaches actually. I have several people who know exactly how crazy I am. Anyway, she's actually a psychotherapist and a coach. And so we had a really positive session and she gave me some strong encouragement. And her message to me was that I have to practice more self-love. I tend to be a bit of a, I have an inner Nazi a little bit who kind of, you know, and it's time for me to be a little more practice a little more self-love and take care of that little inner Tony there, the little child inside me and practice a little more love. So thank you all. Now, the reason I started with this is that I think it's really important. I think often in our culture, we've got this thing about don't be so arrogant, etc., be humble, etc., don't shine. It's one thing to be humble, but the other thing is you don't want to be invisible either. and you want to acknowledge your strengths and the good things in your life. Now, that's why I suggest in a daily journal, in a workbook. Where is it? Here. Okay. Here's see this old raggedy old, there's one of my workbooks. Here's my raggedy workbook. And I've got, I've been writing I've got several of these and I write in them every day. And it's interesting when you write something down, it kind of makes it real. It's interesting. It makes it more real. So I definitely would encourage you to write things in a daily journal, positive stuff as well as negative stuff. In fact, you want to, you want to write down the good stuff that happens to you in your day. Okay. And one of the exercises that we practice in this group is called the gratitude tap. Okay. And we'll just run through two versions of it. One is called the just general gratitude tap, and we'll just do a quick run through. Let's see here. Let's see. So Claudette, if I was going to just say your gratitude would be something about getting it physical, right? Getting yourself into physical shape, and that you've accomplished a really a great goal, right, with your physical health.
That'll be a good one.
Okay, your exercise. You said, I forgot what the number of the cycle was. Was it how many cycles? Or
I've completed 6 cycles out of 20.
Okay, so what we're going to do is what we call the gratitude tap, and each one of you think of the thing that you feel grateful for right now, in one of your goals. Okay, that you had, each one of you. While thinking of that, you start tapping the top of your head. Okay, and you tap on your crown chakra. We're going to tap 10 times on each tapping point, meridian, or chakra. Okay, and we're going to say the 2 magic words that activate law of attraction. We're going to say thank you. So tapping the top of the head, everybody, and I'm going to let somebody in. There we go. All right, tapping the top of the head, and now say those 2 magic words. Say thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now tapping on the eyebrow. And again, Claudette, thinking about your exercising. Regina, thinking about your decision for business. Zuli, your experience. Melina, with your academic victories and successes. Say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, outside corner of the eye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Under the eye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, under the nose. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Under the mouth. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Collarbone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Under the arm. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Karate chop. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent. Let's all take a deep breath. And now release. Okay, very good. Excellent. Now, the money part of the gratitude tap is, and I notice it sounds like everybody here is self-employed to a greater or lesser extent. You want to make a list of your clients or students or customers. Okay. And my principle is all my customers deserve at least 10 seconds of thank you every day. And so what I do, and I write down all my customers, all my sources of income. Now, this can also be a corporation, an employer, or if I do business with, B2B business type, companies, or it could be private customers, individual people. I would then tap on each one going, thank you, thank you, thank you. So let's do a round of that. Each one gets to share. And what I would just, for the sake of anonymity, okay, just use initials, all right, of somebody who you have as a source of income, either a company, an employer, or a customer, or a client, or a student, whoever it is who, in whatever way they validate you and they pay you for your service or your talent or skill. So let's just start at the top of the list here, at least my list. Regina, initials of a recent source of income.
WFG.
Beautiful. All right, let's start tapping, everybody. And while we're tapping, think of a source of your income, okay? All right, for WFG and how good that feels. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Eyebrow, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Eye to the eye, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Under the eye, thank you.
Thank you.
Under the nose, thank you.
Thank you.
Under the mouth, thank you.
Thank you.
Collarbone, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Under the arm, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Karate chop, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, very good. So I'll take a deep breath and I'll release. Very good. Okay, Zuli, a source of income, client, customer, etc. Go ahead.
GC.
Beautiful. Top of the head, thank you.
Thank you.
Eyebrow, thank you.
Thank you.
Side of the eye, thank you.
Thank you.
Under the eye, thank you.
Thank you.
Under the nose, thank you.
Thank you.
Under the mouth, thank you.
Thank you.
Collarbone, thank you.
Thank you.
Under the arm, thank you.
Thank you.
Karate chop, thank you.
Thank you.
Very good. Melina, source of income, of client, customer. Go ahead.
LA.
Beautiful. Top of the head, thank you.
Thank you.
Eyebrow, thank you.
Thank you.
Eye of the eye, thank you.
Thank you.
Under the eye, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Under the mouth, thank you.
Thank you.
Collarbone, thank you.
Thank you.
Under the arm, thank you.
Thank you.
Claudette, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Claudette, your turn.
JC.
Okay, top of the head, thank you.
you.
Eyebrow, thank you.
Thank you.
Side of the eye, thank you.
Thank you.
Under the eye, thank you.
Thank you.
Under the nose, thank you.
Thank you.
The mouth, thank you.
Thank you.
Collarbone, thank you.
Thank you.
Under the arm, thank you.
Thank you.
Karate chop, thank you.
Thank you.
Very good. Take a deep breath and I'll release. Okay, very good. Excellent. If there was one single simple exercise that brings in business for me in this metaphysical process, it's a gratitude tap. Now, I teach and coach several other techniques which are more complex and more complicated, but if there's one takeaway, simply doing this is a moneymaker. It's literally cash money on the table. And, you know, I've been doing this a long time and I still every morning now I have a real customer list. When I started I didn't have any, right? But I just take the last 20 customers, okay, and I just take the last 20 most recent customers and thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Now you may also want to do it another way. If you have a long list, take your five best customers, the ones that you really love and you wish all your customers were like them. You know what I mean? What you're doing is you're sending out positive energy to the universe to attract, okay, a source, attract abundance, attract customers. So you can also say attract your best customers, asking the universe to send out. Now, another aspect of this, now in a public group, I don't do this, but I know some people do this privately, and I think, why not? All right. Just publicly, I don't do it because I don't want to cause controversy. You can say, some people say, thank you, God or goddess. That works too. If it works for you, do it. All right. I just don't do it in a public format because I want to avoid controversy. You get my point. Yeah. All right. So there you go. It's a simple tool. It absolutely works. It's cash money on the table. It's a very simple exercise. Now, I do have other exercises, but tonight I'm going to sort of avoid doing them tonight because I want to move forward to this exercise, which is the Monster Hall of Fame, which I think is an essential tool. Now, last week we did misbeliefs and attitudes. self-limiting, self-sabotaging beliefs that block our abundance, which we inherit from our family, our upbringing, our society, schooling, religion, and they can come from any kind of source. And, and they could be caused, again, they could be imaginary, they could be real. It's anything that we've consciously inculcated, okay, or even with, that affects our ability to attract or manifest abundance. And again, as I said, this can come from external factors. Of course, in this country, there are a lot of external factors. There's, I think we were discussing this last week: racism, classism, sexism, ageism. There's a lot of isms out there which project negative attitudes against us, and we carry them, even unconsciously. You know what I mean? And so a lot of this, the tapping, we use the tapping to kind of push back spiritually and psychically this stuff. Okay. Now, that's in terms of our own self beliefs and self attitudes. But also, kind of parallel to that may have been things that were done to us or said to us that harmed us and caused us pain. Now, we're focused mostly on business, career, and finance, okay? But this could have, these harms could have happened in other areas of our life. And I would, you can use these techniques for other issues and challenges. We're focusing on money, okay, and career and work. So, again, I would call these money traumas or financial traumas or pain, money pain. And we can use this technique, which I'm going to teach you right now. We're going to use the EFT to help release that pain so that it's no longer crippling us. Very often what happens is when we've been harmed or traumatized, even though we were hurt once, we carry that pain and we continue to hurt ourselves many, many times afterwards. And that's not a good thing. I mean, now I'm not saying that we have to surgically remove the memory of what happened to us. We're not erasing memories, but what we want to do is release the negative energy or the negative burden that we're carrying. Okay. And this can be very often, these traumas will affect our ability to manifest abundance and success. They will block us. And I think I told the story about, this was a fairly mild experience, but I think I told one of my clients, his mother, he grew up in a working class, second generation immigrant family. The father was a construction worker, and the mother, I think, was a waitress. They, hardworking people, but the mother had a real suspicion and resentment against business people and especially salesmen. And this guy became a salesman, okay? And what he would do is he would work really hard to make a sale, make a deal, and then he would sabotage it at the last minute. He would just blow it in some way. So he was constantly kind of throwing his banana peels in front of himself, sabotaging his own success until he got rid of this misbelief or what have you. Now we're taking this a step forward. I had to another story, and you'll understand this. A woman was a client, and she had been cheated. She was an artist, and she had been cheated by the owner of the art gallery, who owed her who had sold her paintings, but never paid her. And that got, that abuse, that trauma totally ruined her ability. She got blocked. She couldn't create art. She couldn't practice her career. She wouldn't show her work. She almost gave up being an artist. Okay, that was until we worked on releasing the trauma that she was carrying inside her of having been cheated, having been ripped off. Okay, now that didn't, that doesn't get the art gallery guy off the hook. I mean, she's, what it did is she was no longer paralyzed with fear, anger, low self-esteem, outrage, and in fact, she was then able to get a lawyer and get her money and sue the guy and finally collect her money. So this is why this work is important, to help you if there are any roadblocks. You know, often there are the seeds of these roadblocks in our past somewhere. Okay. And so part of the work that we do, and I don't want, it's a, we don't want to focus on the doom and gloom all the time, but it's definitely important to go through this kind of material. Okay. If we want to achieve success. Okay, I don't know. Hey, just turn that off. Sorry, we get too many phone calls at once there. Anyway, does anybody have a Monster Hall of Fame around business or work or money that they'd like to share briefly? If you, again,
I have. It's a
okay,
big one.
go ahead.
It's me, Zuli. I never got the stimulus check that I was owed. I didn't even receive my income tax for 2019 when I did it, and it was just I I never continued calling the IRS. Obviously, whatever administration that was then, poo whomever. But now I'm hopeful I'm going to redo my taxes again. I wasn't going to do it, but that's the monster that's there. I mean, every day to call the IRS is just frustrating. And that's money that's owed to me. I'm owed at least $95, and I was frustrated and I was angry and speaking in terms of Trump and seeing the the 1% getting their money, and I'm like, I worked hard for that money, and so that's the monster of it. The IRS owes me that money.
Okay.
So
You have now what we're going to do is we're going to do a kind of little mental gymnastics. I want you to focus on. So we're talking about if you were going to give this a movie, you'd call it the stimulus check movie, right?
actually, my I'll forget about the stimulus. I just want my tax refund. We're gonna call it the tax refund.
Tax refund movie. Okay.
Right.
All right. Now, anybody else have a similar financial dilemma, trauma, or hurt or pain? Go ahead, please, Melina.
I did my internship for counseling at a facility, and the doctor was well aware of my other, I'm just going to call it gifts, to be my intuitiveness. Some people are a little disturbed by the other things I do. So my intuitiveness, she knew about that part. And so she basically, in a manner of speaking, promised me this job. And so you can't get paid to be an intern. So I worked all the way through my internship, and I actually worked 2 weeks after our graduation date. So I worked for free that whole time, 40 hours a week, whereas the internship was only required to work half that. But I have a really good work ethic. And so 2 weeks after graduation, I got to the part where it was kind of uncomfortable because I'm just giving her my time. And when I addressed it, she's like, well, I'll get to you over the weekend. The weekend came, the weekend went. I didn't get an email, I didn't get a phone call. So I'll go to work on Monday. Well, Monday, she doesn't show up to work. It's her whole practice. So I assumed that it was a health problem because she had some health issues. Tuesday rolls around, she doesn't come in. Wednesday, she calls me into her office at the end of the day and says, I'm not a good fit, but can I wait and give her 2 weeks notice so I can warm handoff my clients.
Hmm.
So
Okay. You wanna
I
call
gave
that
her,
the internship movie? Would you call that the internship movie?
that's probably the nicest thing we could call it.
Okay, I mean, just so we can identify it amongst ourselves, okay? I mean, I know, I could see the steam coming out of your ears. I can see
Oh,
the
believe
smoke
me,
coming out of your
there's still a lot of bitter in there about that. I'll just say underpaid movie, unappreciated maybe, you
I'm
know?
just going to teach you a process. I want to get everybody to get it. That's why I'm going to kind of, I don't want to cut you short, but I want, you've anchored on it, and that's good. Give it a name that makes sense for you, okay? Okay, the rip-off internship or whatever you want to call it, okay? Or, all right. How about you, Claudette or Regina? Do you have a Monster Hall of Fame movie? A YouTube about having been harmed financially or ripped off or scammed or
Yeah.
cheated?
I think subconsciously, I may have something lingering, and it's in this business that I'm transitioning to. Because I'll say, like, when the first 5 years I was involved, I was 100% full in. And then I went through a divorce, and my ex-husband and I were doing this business together. So at the time of the divorce is when I backed off the business, and I have not gotten back to that 100%. And that's where I'm trying to go by the end of this year.
Okay.
So there's
So
some,
there may be stuff around the divorce, resentment, judgment, anger, fear, pain, all
yeah,
around the divorce that's affect. So that's going to require a little more complicated work, but I'll definitely, this technique will help you. And again, this isn't to let anybody off the hook legally, all right? But this is to free you of any energy, because when you're tied up in this anger, bitterness, resentment, judgment, and it's totally justified. I'm one of the guys who says it's good, it's okay to be angry, because anger is your burglar alarm. You know, but you don't want to be sitting in anger. You don't want to be, stewed in anger indefinitely. You want to get angry, and then you want to get even or get moving. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But this process will help you. So again, it sounds like it's kind of, if you were going to, if we, your YouTube collection around this, if you're going to title the YouTube, right, the video, the movie, you would call it My Ex and My Business, kind of. I mean, you want to give it a title that makes sense to you.
Okay.
Okay. All right. And now, Claudette, do you have a movie from your past, a video from your video collection where smoke comes out of your ears when you think about it? You're muted. You're muted.
Thank you. It's like not not necessarily because if I've made the decision to like let it go, I just let it go, you know?
Okay, well, again, if you've let it go, then good. I mean,
Yeah,
you know,
I let it go because I'm like, nah, because I ended with I will get mine. Like I will get mine back and you will get yours. And only thing I hope is that I'm there when you get crushed. I'm a tad vindictive, what can I tell you? But I think more is what I kind of went through when I was making that transition to go into the business I'm in full time. P.S. Regina, we're in the same one. We need to talk.
Oh,
Yes, we need to talk. But for me, it was more. I didn't think I had to start wrestling with what I was telling myself that I didn't deserve to be successful. Like I really have everything I need to be successful. I have all the abilities, but there was a part of me that saw success as for those people, and that
right.
wasn't me.
That was belief system. But were there any events that cause those beliefs that it's for them and not for me? Now, obviously, we live in a culture, you and I have had a personal conversation about we live in a culture that is rife with isms,
Yeah.
You know,
It's two of those isms, that tell you, you can't. It's not for you. Actually, three.
I mean, there's,
And
racism, sexism, ageism.
yep, that's it.
And then there's a religious, there's the religious stuff as well. You know, I mean, there's enough stuff, but I was just wondering, was there an event? And again, listen, this is not the Spanish Inquisition, okay?
I understand.
All right. And it's not important. You don't have to bleed publicly. I'm not asking anybody
No.
to do that. But I just want to teach you a technique that'll help you resolve any negative energy that's blocking you, okay? And a belief system. But this would be the root cause of a negative belief, like that's for them but not me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was an event that if there was a watershed event in your life where this was demonstrated to you that they get and you don't, okay, this would be the technique. But anyway, let's just move. We'll move. You don't have to come up with something. That's okay, Claudette. And listen, you've done a lot of work on yourself, so you may have already gone past this, okay? But here's the technique. It's called the movie technique, which is why I kept using the word movie, all right? Or YouTube technique. And what you do is with tapping on your karate chop, tapping here, I want you to run that negative movie, okay? I want you to run your internship horror show movie, okay, Melina? Zuli, I want you to run your tax refund movie in your mind's eye, okay? Regina, me and my ex's business movie, okay? And the complication that went through, that's probably more complicated for Regina because it's involved with a relationship. And of course, there's lots of pieces to a relationship, especially if you guys were married for a while. So there's lots of stuff there, right?
Yes.
But let's just focus, try to run that movie in your mind's eye, okay, tapping on it. And when you're done, just say done. When you've reached the end of that movie, run that movie in your mind's eye. Okay, when you're done, just say done while tapping on your karate chop.
Done.
Okay.
Done.
Done.
I see smoke coming out of everybody's ears, so I know you're doing it. Okay, good. All right. So on a scale of 0 to 10 right now, when you ran that movie, what was the level of emotional intensity on a scale of 0 to 10? In other words, 0, you're like the Dalai Lama. There's no problem. Everything's wonderful. 10, you're screaming or crying or reaching for your gun.
9.
9, okay.
I'm about
10.
5 for me.
Okay, excellent. Again, this is benchmarking. This is just to see what the progress is. So now what we're going to do the EFT. Want you to go, just repeat after me. Even though I have this movie, and use the title for your movie. Even though I have this movie.
Even though I have this movie.
Say your title of your movie, okay? And my number is, say your number.
And my number is 10.
Okay, very good. All right. I deeply and completely.
I deeply and completely.
Love, accept, and forgive myself.
Love, accept, and forgive myself.
Okay, so even though I have this movie.
So even though I have this movie.
Okay, I choose to heal, release, and let go.
I choose to heal, release, and let go.
All movie.
All movie.
And I deeply and completely.
And I deeply and completely.
Love, accept, and forgive myself.
Love, accept, and forgive myself.
Okay, now, so even though I have this movie.
So even though I have this movie.
Today I set a firm intention.
Today I set a firm intention.
To heal, release, and let go.
To heal, release, and let go.
All movie.
All movie.
And I deeply and completely.
And I deeply and completely.
Love, accept, and forgive myself.
love, accept, and forgive myself.
Okay, now we're going to start tapping on the other tapping points, top of the head, and say the title of your movie, okay, to yourself as well. All movie.
All movie.
All movie.
Okay, eyebrow. All movie.
All movie.
Side eye. All movie.
All movie.
Under the eye. All movie.
All movie.
Under the nose. All movie.
All movie.
Under the mouth. All movie.
All
movie.
Collarbone. All movie.
all movie.
Okay, under the arm. All movie.
All movie.
Okay, karate chop. So even though I had this movie,
So even though I have this movie,
today I set a firm intention
today I set a firm intention
to heal, release, and let go.
to heal, release, and let go.
All movie.
All movie.
And I deeply and completely
And I deeply and completely
love, accept, and forgive myself.
love, accept, and forgive myself.
Very good. Top of the head. I choose to heal, release, and let go.
I choose to heal, release, and let go.
All movie.
All movie.
Eyebrow. I deserve to heal, release, and let go.
I deserve to heal, release, and let go.
All movie.
All movie.
Okay, outside corner of the eye. I give myself permission to heal, release, and let go.
I give myself permission to heal, release, and let go.
All movie.
All movie.
The eye. I am willing to heal, release, and let go.
I am willing to heal, release, and let go.
All
All
movie.
movie.
Okay, under the nose. It's safe for me to heal, release, and let go.
It's safe for me to heal, release, and let go.
All movie.
All movie.
Under the mouth. I have the power to heal, release, and let go.
I have the power to heal, release, and let go.
All movie.
All movie.
Collarbone. I like the way it feels when I heal, release, and let go.
I like the way it feels to release and heal and let go.
All movie.
All movie.
And then it's easy for me to heal, release, and let go.
It's easy for me to heal, release, and let go.
All movie.
All movie.
Okay, karate chop. So even though
So even though
I had this movie,
I had this movie,
today I set a firm intention
today I set a firm intention
to heal, release, and let go.
to heal, release, and let go.
All movie.
All movie.
And I deeply and completely
And I deeply and completely
love, accept, and forgive myself.
love, accept, and forgive myself.
Top of the head. Letting go of all movie.
Letting go of all movie.
Eyebrow. Letting go.
Letting go.
Letting go.
Letting go.
Under the eye. Letting go.
Letting go.
Under the nose. Letting go.
Letting go.
Under the mouth. Letting go.
Letting go.
Collarbone. Letting go.
Letting go.
Under the arm. Letting go.
Letting go.
Karate chop. Letting go of all movie.
Letting go of all movie.
And I deeply and completely
And I deeply and completely
love, accept, and forgive myself.
love, accept, and forgive myself.
Take a deep breath. Now release. Okay, now tapping on your karate chop. Now we're going to do a little test. I want you to run your movie again. So run, Melina, run your movie. Regina, run your movie. Zuli, run your movie. Claudette, if you're running movies, run one. Just run the one you're working on. Okay, run that movie in your mind's eye. When you're done, say done.
Done.
Okay, now, just for comparison's sake, on a scale of 0 to 10, what is the level of intensity of the movie now?
0.
Okay,
The one.
okay. Melina, what'd you say?
0.
Good. Well, that's excellent. All right, that's congratulations. You guys are really good subjects. Now, do you see the benefit of this?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it was released. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now the reason being, there's two reasons. First of all, it's like living well is the best revenge. You ever heard that one?
Absolutely.
Living happily ever after, being prosperous and abundant is the best revenge of all, right? And the second thing is, if you're carrying that burden and kind of, and allowing it to impede your own progress, not only are you being hurt once, you're being hurt multiple times. Not only that, the person or the people or the situation that caused you the harm still has power over you. You're still their slave. And that's the real reason, because you deserve to be completely free. And that's what this exercise is about. And it also helps you move forward. Now, of course, if there's a financial wrong, you have to, if you can, you have to, do what you have to do to correct that. Take the appropriate actions, move forward, okay? But the whole point of this technique is to help you move through these problems and blocks. And this is the building block of the system that I'm teaching you guys, okay? And you've just had a perfect demonstration of how EFT works, okay? And how this can help you clean up the wreckage of the past, clean up the garbage, okay? So there you go. That's, like I said, this is probably the most important, the movie technique is probably the most important technique that I'm teaching you. And what you do is and again, Rome wasn't built in a day, okay? Just a little note to everybody who hasn't turned on their camera. I've got a new rule. If you want to participate in this group, you're welcome to audit the class. But if you want to participate, you have to turn on your camera. Okay, I'm sorry, but that's just the way it works here. All right, so you're welcome to listen and audit, but if you want to play, you have to play nice with the other kids, right? Anyway, like I said, this is a key technique. This is probably the most important technique that I've taught you so far. This is the real healing work. We can also use this in a very powerful way with visualizing positive things, visualizing and manifesting your goals. So I think we covered that a couple of weeks ago, but we'll do that again, okay? Because what I'm teaching you is a very simple, robust, bulletproof system, okay? That's easy for you to put into practice, and you can do this, pretty much on your own every day. Okay. Hi there, Lori. Welcome. If you want to talk, please, turn on your voice, unmute yourself. Okay. Anyway, so that's that technique. So again, you would have a section in your little notebook, okay, what you would call the Monster Hall of Fame, if that makes sense to you. You can also call it, the list, different organizations have different names for this list, okay? But here's the interesting thing, you'll make your list. There's no rush, but you see how quickly you can resolve these fears, guilts, angers, resentments, okay? If you're halfway through this list, you're going to start seeing major changes in your own daily behavior and actions. Okay, things that because what happens when you have a trauma like this, okay, or a resentment or a problem, you're going to, it's really going to block your flow of abundance. So as soon as the sooner you neutralize the negative energy, the blockage, you're going to start seeing a flow of abundance and success coming towards you, okay? My teacher used to call it the personal peace process. Okay. We used to call it triple P. Gary Craig, who was my teacher, called it the personal peace process, personal peace procedure. Other groups, the 12-step people call it the fourth, the fifth, and the sixth. I don't know. There's some step thing. They call it the fourth or the fifth step or something. Other religions call it, confession or something. But the truth is, what you're doing is you're making the shopping list and you're working your way through all this negative stuff that we've been carrying around for years, sometimes ever since we were children, and you're going to start seeing yourself just behaving differently and behaving more in a more positive, receptive manner, receiving more abundance, being more open to ideas that, result in abundance, being able to take more risks, being more courageous, being braver. So this is why I'm really saying this technique is very important in mastering it. And again, I've got plenty of YouTubes to help you guys with it. Also, like I said, if you want to, work with me privately, I'm available. I'm ridiculously cheap. So, I can coach you or walk you through the procedure. The secret, of course, is you guys doing this for yourself. Okay. And you will see a difference or a change. Now, interestingly enough, I had fear of physical exercise. Okay. Uh, Claudette talking about, her overcoming her challenge. I actually had some kind of fear that was linked to war-related PTSD.
Mm.
Okay, so I had to go back to when people were trying, certain people were seriously trying to kill me, and I wasn't being paranoid. And I had to do that work before I could get back into, I'm an old guy, so I just walk and I do very gentle exercises. I'm not trying to win an Olympic, but that was one of my challenges. I had, so I endorse you, Claudette, for facing that, fear of exercise or fear of moving into the physical world, as it were. Okay, so there you go. That's a very powerful tool. Let's do a couple more exercises and then we'll wrap it up because I think we had a little bit of a late start, but I want you to get your nickels worth. Okay. All right. So the last, though there are other routines, and I'll be sending you to via email the Money Bags Financial First Aid Kit. Did you guys get that email from me yet?
Yes.
Okay, so you've got it, but I always follow up with it, and
Mhm.
I'm not trying to spam you. I just want to make sure you get it. Uh, Again, there's all those routines in there. Okay, and I strongly recommend doing the protective shield of golden light, the gratitude tap, the money thermostat, and definitely the vision tap on your goals. But also, if you've got baggage, if you have a monster, if you've got stuff in your Monster Hall of Fame, definitely do it. And again, if you do one a week, one monster a week, right? Trust me, you're going to see progress. I mean, you don't have to be a maniac and do them all in one day. I don't think that's either possible or a good idea, but one a week, you know, get rid of one monster, tap it down to a zero. Now, sometimes it may not go down to zero all at once. Okay. And so do it again, keep tapping. Okay. Just keep tapping. And if there's a really persistent one that won't go down to zero, maybe you need to chat with me privately because there may be complications. There may be a relationship issue or a childhood issue, or some deeper trauma. Okay. But by and large, if you do this, it's very unusual for one of these movies to stay at a 10 after you've done about 3 or 4 rounds. Okay. But again, as my teacher used to say, the secret to doing these techniques is persistence, repetition, and specificity. Okay. So just try it out. But like I said, if you do get a roadblock, if you do get if you feel stuck, feel free to send me an email and we'll have a private chat about it. Okay. All right. We're going to close now because I think we've done some awesome work. You've learned a very powerful tool that's really going to propel your abundance forward. So this was an important little workshop today. Okay, so this is recorded, so you guys can play it back. Okay, so let's finish up with the abundance tap, which is a generalized abundance tapping routine. Which again, I would include that in any kind of regular or daily practice. Okay, so again, tapping on the karate chop. Okay, repeat after me. Okay, just repeat what I say. Tap where I tap, repeat what I say. even though I have been allowing the universe
even though I have been allowing the universe
to manifest some abundance in my life.
to manifest some abundance in my life.
Today, I set a firm intention
Today, I set a firm intention
to allow the universe
to allow the universe
to manifest even more abundance in my life.
to manifest even more abundance in my life.
And I deeply and completely
And I deeply and completely
love, accept, and forgive myself.
love, accept, and forgive myself.
Okay, so even though I have been allowing the universe
So even though I have been allowing the universe
to manifest some abundance in my life,
to manifest some abundance in my life,
today I set a firm intention
today I set a firm intention
to allow the universe
to allow the universe
to manifest even more abundance in my life.
to manifest even more abundance in my life.
Okay, so even though I have been allowing the universe
So even though I have been allowing the universe
to manifest some abundance in my life,
to manifest some abundance in my life,
today I set a firm intention
today I set a firm intention
to allow the universe
to allow the universe
to manifest even more abundance in my life.
to manifest even more abundance in my life.
And I deeply and completely
I deeply and completely
love, accept, and forgive myself.
love, accept, and forgive myself.
Top of the head, today I set a firm intention
Today I set a firm intention
to allow the universe
to allow the universe
to manifest even more abundance in my life.
to manifest even more abundance in my life.
Good. Eyebrows, even more abundance of love.
Even more abundance of love,
Okay, outside going on. Even more abundance of happiness.
even more abundance of happiness,
Even more abundance of good health.
even more abundance of good health,
Those, even more abundance of prosperity.
even more abundance of prosperity,
Even more abundance of creativity.
even more abundance of creativity,
Even more abundance of good friends.
even more abundance of good friends,
Even more abundance of all the good things I really need.
even more abundance of all the good things I need.
Okay, good. Karate chop. So today I set a firm intention
Today I set a firm intention
that had to allow the universe
to allow the universe
to manifest even more abundance in my life.
to manifest even more abundance in my life,
Even more abundance of love.
even more abundance of love,
Yeah, even more abundance of happiness.
even more abundance of happiness,
Even more abundance of good health.
even more abundance of good health,
Even more abundance of prosperity.
even more abundance of prosperity,
Even more abundance of creativity.
even more abundance of creativity,
Collarbone. Even more abundance of good friends.
even more abundance of good friends,
Even more abundance of all the good things I really need.
even more abundance of all the good things I really need.
We're on the home stretch. Here we go. Today I set a firm intention.
Today I set a firm intention
Top of the head. To allow the universe
to allow the universe
to manifest even more abundance in my life.
to manifest
to
even more
manifest even
abundance
more
in my
abundance in
life,
my life,
Even more abundance of love.
to manifest even more abundance of love,
Even more abundance of happiness.
even more abundance of happiness,
Okay. Even more abundance of good health.
even more abundance of good health,
Even more abundance of prosperity.
even more abundance of prosperity,
Even more abundance of creativity.
even more abundance of creativity,
Collarbone. Even more abundance of good friends.
even more abundance of good friends,
Under the arm. Even more abundance of all the good things I really need.
even more abundance of all the really good stuff I really need.
Very good. Karate chop. And I deeply and completely
And I deeply and completely
love, accept, and forgive myself.
love, accept, and forgive myself.
Excellent. Let's all take a deep breath. And I'll release. Okay. Well, I think we had an awesome workshop. You guys were wonderful. I saw some amazing progress. I hope you all felt good. You guys enjoyed tonight?
yes,
Definitely. Thank you.
All right. So stay tuned. This is a regular Sunday night thing. Okay. This is a regular. So make this party a regular thing. And do get your notebook. Do start with your, keeping your little notes or daily journal. And we'll review this stuff from time to time. We'll go through it. I am making up a little ebook, a workbook for everybody. Okay. But again, we've got the YouTubes. I'll be sending that. So I'll see you all next week, next Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Love you all. I'm wishing you a happy, prosperous, abundant, successful, love-filled week. Love you. Hug your face, kiss
Love you
you.
too, Tony. Thank you.
Thank you.
Stay
Blessings.
safe.
Take care, guys.
Thank you,
Love
Thank
you.
you.
everybody.
And if you've
Have a
got
good
any
night.
questions, if you need to talk to me personally, that's fine. Send me an email. We'll figure something out. Okay.
Awesome.
Definitely.
Thank you, Tony.